Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a level 20 Valkyrie Maiden of War build in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a mod, the Maidens of Valhalla Valkyrie Class by Eclipse. Is now available on console with 3 different subclasses, the Maiden of War, Daybreak, and Valhalla. Now, it's an interesting class mod because there's a lot of things that it does. It's about revival, so you can make Einherjars here to be able to send fallen warriors back to Valhalla, and that's a core principle of this class. It also has a lot of really cool abilities, which I'll break down in this video, as you get to pick one of these buffs here at levels 1, 8, and 14, and some of them are really fun. I really like Skadi's World of Ice here, so what this does is, with the Everlasting Ice of Skadi, you can create a trail of ice wherever you go. While on ice, you gain 2 armor class and advantage on Constitution saving throws. Your allies also gain these bonuses. Now, this is, in my opinion, the strongest of these. We'll quickly go through all of them. Heimdall's ability gives you basically Misty Steps. You can teleport anywhere without using a spell slot. We also have the Alder's True Sight, which allows you to see invisible objects. Baldur's Gate allows you to unlock any locked object. Vidar's Thirst for Vengeance here gives you the ability to generate more Divine Favor, which is this class's resource. Freya's Protection gives you advantage on all skill checks. Ayr's Bombing Light allows you to heal allies in a 6-meter radius. Hell's Rotting Presence allows you to apply Burning Rot on your melee attacks. Loki's Illusionary Tricks gives you the ability to cast Illusionary Tricks here, which can turn a creature invisible, and it's pretty cool. We also got the Honor's Silence Horror here, which gives you a +3 to attack rolls with -3 to saving throws. Will block most spells in the game, which is honestly pretty crazy. Thor's Thunder gives you resistance to lightning and immunity to thunder damage. Tyr's Divine Strikes, you gain a +1 to attack rolls and can cast Divine Armament as a bonus action, which is an ability that we get here at level 1. And we also get the Ymir's Unbreakable Resilience. You become immune to any effects that would move or incapacitate you. Frigg's Golden Blood allows you to, with the Kara Frigg, you're always under the effects of Aurora Veil in combat, giving you healing over time. And Sigyn's Withering Touch here applies the God's Poison. So we'll be going through all the builds in this video. Now, one thing, if you're on console, you just maybe want to check that you do swap your ability scores here, because the bonuses won't be applied. Same as skill proficiencies. I also like to go with the Persuasion skill here and Athletics to avoid being shoved, and Persuasion is just good as the face of the party. Now, as for stats, our Strength is our spellcasting modifier, so we could roll with a stat spread of something like this, or you can swap Dexterity with Constitution, just depending on your armor class, because a +2 may be fine. Level 2 gives us our Sundering Strike here. Strike an enemy dealing 10 to 13 slashing damage. If you miss, reduce their armor class by 2. If you hit, increase their damage taken by 1d4. So it's pretty interesting. Also, I just want to mention the armor that I'm wearing is part of the Knights and Dames armor set by Artie Henrietta. This was added to console today as well. It has a lot of really great armor selections. I'd also recommend the Wings Unlocked mod. I'm having a weird issue with the underwear slot of my characters where it crashes if I use something along the lines of that. So you can use that mod as well if you'd like, just to give yourselves the winged appearance. Just want to mention those two there. So into level 3, we get to choose our subclass. And as mentioned, I'm going to go with the Maidens of War, but I'll just show the subclass benefits. So Maiden of Daybreak gives a +1 to saving throws to allies, and you can cast First Light as a bonus action. Maidens of Valhalla, nearby enemies or allies immediately die when becoming down, and you can turn them into an Einherjar as a bonus action. And the Maiden of War here, the one I'll be focusing on, nearby allies get a +1 to attack rolls and can cast Sundering Strike without having to use Divine Favor, so we can attack with that skill a little bit more frequently without burning through our resources. Level 4 class feature, increase movement speed by 3 meters and jump distance as well. We get the Brutal Swing, swing your weapon in a large arc, and it can hit up to 3 enemies at once. It does half your physical damage though, but if you have any riders, it won't half those. And we also get to take a feat, and I think the Alert feat's a good choice, +5 to initiative. Savage Attacker to reroll your damage die is also a good one to go with, or an ability score improvement on your Constitution, Strength, or Dexterity. We'll just go with the Alert feat there. Level 5, favored by the gods. You're immune to poison, disease, and being cursed, and an extra attack. And we also get the Norse Ancestry. We can talk to humanoid corpse, allowing it to answer up to 5 questions, basically speak with the dead. So that's a pretty good ability to get there. Also at level 6, we get the Purging Light. Channel Divine Energy to remove all negative effects from yourself or an ally as a bonus action. And then also subclass feature, Call to Valhalla. At the start of combat, deal 2 to 20 slashing damage to the closest enemy within 18 meters. It's pretty cool. That's the subclass Maiden of War ability. At level 7, we get the Deny Life. Block the target from receiving healing, which is an action, and it lasts for 5 turns, which can be pretty effective against a few different boss fights in this game. Aurora Veil. Nearby allies get Aurora Veil and regenerate health at the start of their turns. And this lasts for 5 turns, uses 2 Divine Favors. Level 8 gives us the Battle Maiden. Gain 1+1 armor class until the next turn after taking damage. Can stack, so if you get hit with a multi-attack, you're going to be pretty hard to hit. And as mentioned, we also get to take another one of these choices here, which is a good choice, being things like the Air's Bombing Light, which gives us a bit additional healing. I like the Sigyn's Withering Touch to apply the poison on attacks. Also go with the Hell's Rotting Purge, which can apply this to all targets in melee range, which is pretty nice. Or Heimdall's Rainbow Bridge gives you that free teleport, which is also nice to have. And for the feat, I guess you could go with an increase to strength or dexterity. I'm using a strength potion, so we'll just bump up the dexterity there, which is a better armor class with different armors. Level 9, Age of Air and Harriers. If an Air Harrier kills an enemy, they come back to life. It's pretty cool. And subclass feature, Fearmonger. Weak enemies are scared of you and now become feared if they're close to you. That's from the Maiden of War subclass. Level 10 gives us our Divine Herald. Surround yourself in celestial radiance in the light of the heavens with 2 divine favor cost. Level 11 gives us our Aegis of Light. Shield an ally with a divine barrier if they cannot take damage if struck from outside the barrier. 3 divine favor costs and an action. It's honestly really good. Level 12 gives us the Odin's Judgment Annihilation. This does a 3d10 radiant, 3d4 slashing, 3d4 force damage. Unleash a Fury multi-hit combo infused with Celestial Fury attack roll for divine favor. And another feat. Another good one is the Tough feat for increasing our health by 2 for every level. So this would be 40 at level 20 or 24 at level 12. This build also works at level 12, but it does have the ability to go past that. So that's level 13 there. Level 14 gives us our passive, the Acer here. So you can select another one. I'm going to go with the Sigyn's Withering Touch to apply the poison, burning, and have ice on all of our attacks just for elemental choice. You can choose any of the other ones that you prefer though, as they all have their own uses in combat. Level 16 just gives us another feat. You can go with an increase your strength or dexterity there. And once we get to level 17 here, just more health overall. Level 18, again, kind of the same thing. That's why I said that you can just go with the level 12 if you want to. Just get another Acer choice there, which is nice. And then level 20 gives you another feat here. Savage Attacker for re-rolling damage die is never a bad option, so that's what we'll go with there, as we're a melee spellcaster kind of combo. And you got to be careful with the ice, because I accidentally made Scratch slip, which really upset everyone in camp, so just a heads up on that. There is a toggle there, so there's a heads up. As far as gear, Helm of Baldur is not a bad choice. It makes it so that you can't get hit with critical hits, which is always a good thing. You can also go with the Mask of Soul Perception, the Haste Helm if you're in Act 1, or really any of these options. There's nothing super essential here. Cloak Protection or Deathstalker Mantle. If you're going high dexterity, the Armor of Agility is a good choice. This will put our armor class up to 25 without a shield. And if you're wearing, if you're not going dexterity, you can go with the Armor of Persistence here. In the Helldusk armor, your personal preference here for armor works well, but I want the Armor of Agility. Now, since we have this here, the Divine Armament, which adds a 4 to 16 radiant damage to our attacks, this is our only concentration and it lasts until long rest. We're going to use the Luminous Gloves here to apply Radiating Orbs. And then since we can do that, we can also use the Boots of Stormy Clamor to stack Reverberation. So not only are we creating ice surfaces, we can knock the targets prone with this as well. I also have the Caustic Band on here because this helps out with our cleave attack. It adds additional damage on there. Then I also got the Ring of Protection and the Amulet of Greater Health. Now I'm also using the Cataclysmic or Winter Blight Fire and Frost Swords mod by Skirby here. This was also added to console today, so I thought that'd be a cool choice and weapon here because these add a little bit of extra cold damage. And you don't have to use this, otherwise you would use something like Valor Louvre being a really good choice, early game weapon. If you want a two-handed sword, the Sethin or the Baldur Giant Slayer are great options. I just like the modded weapons, and it fits with the ice theme of this. That's what I'm going to use for this video. But you can also add in a shield too if you just want to use one sword. I also have the Hellrider Longbow for that +3 to initiative, so I'll show you what this looks like when we get into combat. So on our first turn of combat here, we want to set up our ice surfaces so we can just run around a little bit to further enhance the overall crowd control that we're doing. This is just a really fun way to help out with that. But we also have the Divine Herald here, surround yourself in Celestial Radiance. We can buff ourselves up with this. You got counterspelled by that. Nice, lovely. Always go after spellcasters, so we're going to use the Sundering Strike here, which can deal additional damage. And if it misses, it'll reduce the target's armor class. So we'll go ahead there with the attack, critically hit. We also have the Odin Smite. When you hit an enemy, you can smite them, dealing additional 2 to 8 radiant damage using a Divine Favor. We didn't need that, and we recover our Divine Favor on melee attacks, so pretty strong. We also create the Aura of Fear there, which makes targets fearful so they can't move. It's really nice. Then we have our Brutal Swing here, which can hit 2 targets at a time, which is pretty useful, especially if there's 2 targets like that. And if we didn't take them out, we could use the Brutal Smite there or the Odin Smite to deal a bit of extra damage. Pretty solid turn. And we also got our Valkyrie wings here, which can allow us to fly around too, which is really nice. And that further will spread our ice surfaces. So yeah, our teammates are all immune to prone too and get the boost armor class from it. So that's pretty good. We also have the Purging Light here. If there's any negative effects that affect our teammates, we can use that too. So that can be pretty useful and not a bad first turn. We took out the Spellcaster. All right, now we'll apply the Divine Herald here so we can buff ourselves up with this. And you're surrounded with Lights of Heaven that deals 4 to 16 radiant damage to foes that come within 2 meters of it or start their turn there. So basically like a Spirit Guardians type attack. And we lost our Divine Armament here, unfortunately, because of the... I got hit with Command, unfortunately. But we'll just go ahead with a Sundering Strike on this target here. So bonk, and weaken the target. We'll apply the Odin Smite there to do a little extra damage. This applied the Chilling DK. It also applied abilities to drain strength, radiating orbs, and we also have advantage on our next attack against them, so that's pretty nice. We'll provoke the opportunity attack. We actually avoided that, and we'll go with another attack here. If there's a target you really want gone, you can use the Odin's Judgment here, which will do multi-attack. Boom! And miss, of course, but still apply the radiating orbs and reverberation, so we'll take it. We can go with an offhand attack here to hopefully finish them off. Perfect. And yeah, that was great. Also run around because you can apply the radiating damage, you can knock them prone, and a whole lot of other things. Pretty fun. And with the Fearful, they start running and slipping on the ice just like that, which is exactly what we want. So then we can go ahead with finishing them off with a Sundering Strike there. We got advantage on the attack, so we're not missing with that. Booyah! And we'll go finish off this target here using our... We have 6 Divine Favor. It's not really worth it to use the Odin's Judgment there at this point, but we'll just continue with a... You can use a Sundering Strike really anytime. It just makes sense to attack with that as we get the extra damage off on it, so pretty useful. And then maybe our radiant damage that we get at 2 meter radius. Yeah, I was going to take someone out. I had a good feeling on that. And then we can go ahead with, I guess there's 1 target left. So what we can do is then go ahead with Deny Life. That's a good option. Aegis of Life, shield an ally. We don't have to fully go hard on the combat. I'm still going to do it anyways. Actually, we'll use the Odin's Judgment there just to go full in on that. Pretty damaging. I wanted to show off the Inheriar ability here. Valhalla created Inheriar. So I Minsk fell here, and we'll turn him into one of those there. So you can bring them back to life. They succumb from death, and it looks like we now have a bit of a glitch here. So I guess that's it for the video. Yeah, you may have some issues with that if you're running. I guess I'm not sure what I did there. It worked before whenever I did this mod. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.